Hello and welcome to my official book launch. I was really excited to tour this book and wear this cute little suit, but instead I'll just have to do it here in my backyard because of social distancing. Yay! Here's my book. It's called I Quit Plastics, and I'm so excited to finally be able to hold it and touch it. It's been so long. I've been writing this for a while now, so I'm so proud to present this to the world, to share with everyone my plastic-free lifestyle. So I haven't used plastics for 10 years, and I've created this intro guide with Pantera Press, a publisher in Sydney, absolute legends who have supported me on my journey to making this dream a reality. It's full of lifestyle recipes to reduce your waste, to live clean and healthy, and a little bit of theory on how to change the world. So if you have been following me for a while, you've been watching my journey through activism, trying to ban plastics around the world, and working with Greenpeace and Break Free from Plastic and a lot of alliances and organizations to try and really reduce the amount of trash and plastics that's circulating in our world, both on the consumption side, what's available for purchase, but also trying to manage all of the pollution. So it's a huge task, and at some point I felt like, I quit plastics 10 years ago. I quit using single-use plastics and I started making everything at home, and people started to feel interested in my lifestyle. So I've been sharing with you on Instagram all of these little things that I do, these little hacks to be plastic free, and now I've put them into a book. It was really hard to narrow this down. My first version was probably this thick, and the editors were like, no, this is an intro guide, mermaid. So I had to really cut it down, which was fine, because that means there's more material for a second book. Okay, so this is I Quit Plastics, and you can too. This book belongs to you. You get to write your name in it with the intention. What is your intention for investing in this book? What is your intention for the planet, for the way you live your life, for your personal footprint? This is for you to fill in. And if I haven't mentioned it already, the book is available for pre-order in the US on bookshop.org, also Barnes & Noble and Amazon. In Canada, you can order it through Abby's in Sydney, abbeys.com.au, and that's in Europe. Europe you can order. And in Australia, it's available, and New Zealand through booktopia.com.au. So check my most recent post on Instagram for those links, and it's on Facebook as well. Thank you so much for your support. It's so exciting to have this book finally in my hands. So we create this humble guide in the spirit of sharing ideas, spreading solutions, and empowering change makers to be bold and courageous. With deep reverence, we honor all resources consumed for these pages, setting the intention that our positive impact will ripple outward, inspiring others. Honoring these pages that once were trees reaching for the sun, the water used to make the paper. Blessing any chemicals that flowed from this process, may this book outdo any harm caused. We honor the humans whose hands bound this book and packed the boxes. We honor the dinosaur bones that burned as fuel to transport this book. We will absorb and learn and grow and shift to make all of the effort and output worthwhile. We value this book. We value our things. We vote with our dollar. We are mindful of our choices. We are conscious of our impact. We do our best. We come from love. We are not saving nature. We are nature. I Quit Plastics by Kate Nelson. And this book is dedicated to the plastic-free mermaid community. That's you. Thank you for supporting me always. Thank you for your efforts and contribution. We are in this together, and many of you have been with me since before sustainability was cool or world saving was urgent. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity and platform to share what I have learned along the way. Thank you for being with me. It is also dedicated to the wildlife, including us rewilding sapiens, that we all may ingest less plastic because of this book. Contents. Author's note. And then I talk about the path, like my journey, And then I go into nourishing food, so recipes from the kitchen. And then I go into recipes for body care, so bath products and beauty products. And then a cleaning list, so recipes for all your cleaning products you need that you can make with stuff you already have at home. Very simple, very basic, very effective, and not toxic, so you're not breathing in these harmful chemicals. And then I have a little closing and a meditation to connect to your higher self, your purpose, your, this calling that some of us feel for the planet, to cultivate that relationship with who we are, our highest and best path, so that we may follow that or hear the intuition which guides us there. And then I do a few thank yous and some recommended reading. Okay. Author's note. That's me. Thank you for picking up this book. I hope you find I Quit Plastics a resource and a gateway to reconnect with our wondrous planet, Earth. Quitting single-use plastics is not the only path we can take. In fact, every choice we make with positive environmental outcomes is a drop that, when multiplied by millions of people, becomes a mighty river. It is through these individual changes that we can collectively draw civilization back into harmony with nature. This book supports us to make small changes to move away from disposable packaging, away from processed food, away from our throwaway culture and conditioning for overconsumption. It supports us to honor our reliance on a healthy, thriving planet. Empowers us to acknowledge that we breathe air into our lungs, eat vegetation that sprouts from dirt, drink water that falls from the sky. We are a part of these ecosystems, and our actions either support or harm the soil. This guide encourages us to cultivate our relationship with nature, so we see that when we pollute the air, we pollute ourselves. When we carelessly waste plastic, we hurt our children. When we deplete the soil, we deplete our food, which depletes our bodies. We are not separate from the environment. We are nature. Many of us are waking up and remembering this. Instead of pointing the finger at those who do not acknowledge our inextricable integration with nature, let us focus on being the most shining examples and channel our energy towards creating the harmonious world we dream of. I hope that this book will inspire changes in purchasing habits and openings in mindfulness. Giving up disposable plastics causes us to rethink our shopping lists, break free from routines that may or may not be serving us, and become more aware of who we support with our dollars. Once we learn how detrimental plastic is, our attention is on high alert to avoid the material. Something opens in our minds and we are able to see plastics that have been there all along. All of this ethical strategizing cultivates increased presence in other aspects of life, as well as feelings of fulfillment, purpose, and happiness. It connects us back to what we spend our money on, what we spend our energy on. Oh, a bit of rain. What we spend our energy on helps us reevaluate how we use our time, what we value, who we choose to connect with, and how we want to feel. Quitting plastics is an invitation to mindfulness. It is a coming back to who we have always been. This is a humbling journey. I grew up eating packaged processed foods. I wasted hundreds of plastic cups at college parties. I bought disposable plastics and didn't think twice about throwing them away. When I had my plastics awakening, the first one, I was incredibly disturbed at my own oblivious contribution to the mounting pollution, and I was empowered to honor my agency as a human being. I refused to stay, unquestioning, in the fast-moving flow of mass consumption causing mass pollution. I chose to step into my sovereignty and make my own choices. I would celebrate being different. I wouldn't push. I would lead by example and inspire others to join me. I would choose flowers and herbs and water and sky and grass and oils and vegetables. There are many ways to live more ecologically in sync. One way is to choose the materials you touch. Quitting plastics enabled me to touch more plants, wood, glass, metal. A foreshadowing aesthetic preference that kept me out of shopping malls and supercenters, leading me instead to shop and harvest in gardens. Not having plastic-free makeup options moved me to eat healthier, get lots of sleep and exercise, so that I didn't rely on makeup to feel beautiful or comfortable in my skin. With plastic packaged crackers and dips off limits, I made my own. Never truly domestically inclined, I laughed through my efforts to sew ripped clothing and bake my own breads. For the ocean, my playground, my temple, and the essence of this water planet which all life depends on. Learning to make my own hummus was no burden or sacrifice. It was an honor, even if the first few batches were far from delicious. Our minds are elastic, and we can alter our patterns, master our habits, and reframe our experiences. I witnessed plastic evolve from a packaging material into a socially destructive mechanism for separation and division. Its presence indicated this has been tampered with. So I established new habits and neurological pathways to abstain from plastic. Through this daily ethical challenge, I learned deeply what it felt like to live the vibration of integrity. I understood how to support the economy of products that align with my values. Through my choices and purchases, I could slowly construct the world I dreamed of. A decade ago, my choice to quit using plastics was extreme. It led me on an adventure full of wild characters, peppered with hilarity, confusion, courage, and humility. I am incredibly grateful for the lifestyle that grew from that potent seed. I wish you a light, joyous approach as you experiment with how you truly want your one precious life to look and feel. This is a chance to rewrite your story, to compost what is no longer serving you in your life, and create the world you dream of living and thriving in. Thank you for reading this. I am beyond grateful. It was a great joy to write these words. I rewrote them often as I am learning every day on this incredible adventure. It was hard to turn in a complete version because our planet is changing so much every day and the social climate is evolving so quickly. It has been humbling to step away and let these words stand on their own. Having finished work on this book, I returned to my passion of environmental activism, so this is what your purchase supports. Thank you. Sincerely, Kate. And then we go into the book. So I quote Ralph Waldo Emerson here. Don't be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. And that is so my philosophy when you enter into the kitchen or when you do any of these plastic-free alternatives. It's, we are given away. We're given plastic packaging. We're given convenience and ease and cheap prices, and it's often packaged in plastic. And so when we're presented with something that is the norm, it's up to us to get creative and resourceful and experimental to avoid this material that we know is not serving us or our planet. Now, I do talk about science and how plastic is negatively impacting our body in the book. I give a little story about myself, my start, how I began my plastic journey. Hello, kitty. Kishi. Talking about some options, some everyday scenarios, showing life with plastics versus life without, just to help put it all into perspective. How to begin, like before you take that first step, regenerative versus sustainable. How to quit plastics, setting your target, waste audit, making a plan, plastic swear jar, your trash jar, maybe a cheat day. Tips to making plastics, quitting plastics sustainable. Have a few mermaidy pics in there. This is so fun to look at this. And then how to keep going. I'll read a bit from here. Quitting plastics is a journey. Words of inspiration have helped to keep me going at every stage, and I hope words will keep you going too. I've returned time and again to the following philosophies. They've been lights to navigate by, and I've repeated them to myself hundreds of times. We are only responsible for ourselves. You are a sovereign being. You are responsible only for what you do. You are not responsible for others. You can be in charge of your own impact on the world. Tackling the waste you create matters and is manageable. It won't happen overnight, so bring patience and compassion for yourself. Practice compassion for those around you who have not vowed to quit plastics. They may not be ready to take this on yet. You are not responsible for them. This can be super hard to accept once you're filled with the passion for a cleaner planet and the urgency with which we need to change. I totally get it. I've been there. It can feel almost like a personal attack when someone we love or live with refuses to wipe out all of the plastics in their life too. Take deep breaths and remember that we're all on our journey, and others may need more time to let go. Don't nitpick and debate. Explain your reasoning and share what you know, but be sensitive and do not aggravate your relationships over this. The best way to handle these situations is simply to show a beautiful example of this lifestyle. They will eventually come around, but if they don't, then your values may be misaligned. I would advise against pointing fingers at anyone else, mega corporations doing the wrong thing, or complete sellout politicians, accepted of course. Definitely not until you have few, if any, changes to make. So don't point the finger until you have few, if any, changes to make to your own tiny footprint. Lead by example. This is not a sacrifice. And then I go into your shopping guide. Plastic and social justice, how living a plastic-free lifestyle is a privilege. And how to deal with apathy. And then we get into some recipes. First, of course, I have to talk a little bit, and I also mention Ayurvedic food rules. So I studied Ayurveda, so a lot of these recipes are founded in my Ayurvedic study, Ayurveda, the Indian health science, which is a philosophy and practice that if you eat right and you live right, then you won't need medicine. So it's 3 pillars, diet, lifestyle, and medicine. And diet, if you're eating when you have digestive fire, Agni, if you're eating spices and things that are stimulating, and you're eating the right amounts and you're eating in good company. Lifestyle, if you're meditating and practicing yoga, taking care of yourself, having joy and laughter, then you won't need medicine. So that's what a lot of this is founded in. Michael Pollan's food rules as well. I really appreciate his simple advice. Eat plants, or eat food, not too much, mostly plants. And then there's a few of my favorite of his rules there. How to source our food thoughtfully. There's a lot of good stuff in here, okay? You know, planting your kitchen scraps, composting, still not to the recipes yet, but almond milk, we'll get there. Oat milk, breads, bone broths, yeah, just lots of stuff. Then we get into meals, breakfast, granola, porridge, khichdi, lunch and dinner, pad thai with zucchini noodles, falafels, curry, get some desserts, peanut butter cups, ice cream, vegan ice cream, sorbet, snacks. Yeah, just a lot of great recipes in here that I've taught myself over my journey to quit plastics. Gluten-free seed crackers, so crackers that normally are wrapped in plastic. I had to learn how to make these at home if I wanted to enjoy these delicious treats and have something to dip in my vegan cheeses and blended vegetable dips. Yeah, so that was nice. And hummus, vegan cheese, recipes for those as well. Granola bars, drinks. Yeah, so lots of good content in here. I will continue to read aloud. If you'd like, tune in throughout the week. I'll read little snippets. There's definitely some great stuff here. The toxins that plastic leaches. I didn't go too deep into that, but there's definitely some pages here. So I hope that you enjoy this. It's been such a pleasure to write this book, and I'm so excited to be able to finally share it with you. Again, please head to my latest post on Instagram for the links where to order your copy. Get some for your family members, your friends, your coworkers, so that we can share this lifestyle of living with a smaller footprint. Individually, our impact really does matter. I know that it can sometimes seem like it's a big world full of huge changes that are out of our control, but the more that we focus on our personal impact, the more that ripples outward. So especially during a time like right now where we are all stuck at home, there's many things that we can do. There's many recipes that we can do in here. I hope that the philosophical content is inspiring, so that you feel really encouraged and empowered to make these changes for yourself, and feel like you can be a positive, graceful example for this lifestyle for your community. And of course, these are really easy to share online, to record yourself in your kitchen making a recipe. So definitely tag me, Plastic Free Mermaid, and my hashtag is #IQuitPlastics, so that I can see what you've made from the book, and tag me when it arrives. I would love to see you receive your copy, and I'm just so excited. It's surreal, really. So thank you for your support. Again, I couldn't have done this without you guys. It's through the sharing of these recipes and my lifestyle that I even have content for this book. So this has been a group project with all of us. So thank you, and I so appreciate you sharing my book with people today. Again, I would tour this if I could, but perhaps it's good that we're all grounded. The earth is certainly regenerating, and I'm enjoying this pause, as well as we don't have to fight for climate change in this moment, because all of the planes and cars are fairly grounded. So that's beautiful, and we will take up our discussion on single-use plastics when appropriate, because right now they're saving lives. So we are doing our best to take care of ourselves and to have an impact, a positive impact on our planet in this time off, in this global pause. So if you feel like this book can entertain you and inspire and educate you, would so love the support. I hope you have a beautiful day. Mwah.